So I also want to talk about the Oracle paradox, which is a challenge that we face in mirroring the physical world virtually. So Professor Alice and Gray have written a paper, as well as I have, about this issue. And it's really about the problem we have, that everything's fine and we have, mutable, and perfect tracking of transactions and provenance of transactions when we're talking about a virtual space. But the problem is many transactions still occur in the physical space. And how do we know for sure that the physical transactions are actually being mirrored correctly in the virtual space? Remember, blockchains cannot access data outside their network. And an oracle is provided as part of the smart contract, which is basically a data feed. And it's provided by a third-party service, which we have to validate as auditors and audit them very specifically, that are designed for use in the smart contracts. So I like to talk a lot about, in my paper, I talk about the diamond industry because that has a high materiality component. And it's also an area subject to great scrutiny by many different regulators. And the challenge we have is that right now, even with a blockchain, like a neurochain or a trust chain by IBM, all the diamond market's pretty much controlled by one wholesaler, De Beers, who not only mines the diamonds or works with miners, but also they manufacture fake diamonds. And so there's a question about, we really have more impetus and more demand on, validating the third-party oracle to validate the origin of the mining. And so, for example, in their model, they rely on third-party government officials to provide assurance that the diamonds are mined from, the conflict mines or mines that don't employ child labor. And this is an issue because, as we know from past cases, foreign governments, they work on briberies. That's a different way of doing business. So the question is, how can we rely on that? We also have, and I'll touch base on that shortly when we talk about the Professor Miklos's paper. Also, we have a situation now where Diamond Standard is trying to commoditize the diamond market. So diamonds come in many different sizes and shapes and grades and qualities and carat sizes. So it's never been commoditized really, and the value fluctuates greatly every day. And also it's very challenging to define like what the grade of the diamond is and whether it has flaws, et cetera, et cetera. And this entity is trying to commoditize it by creating a grouping of diamonds at a certain value and trying to standardize this across these coins it's creating. And that creates greater challenge because that means that even if we're using a blockchain for these kind of transactions, or at least like with groupings, we still have a huge issue with the validation of using oracles.